Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. So, just to kind of gauge the audience a little, how many of you actually do SEO? Okay. For your own business? Okay. Awesome. So do you have your own agency? Okay. Perfect. Okay. How about you?
I do it for my own website and some of the, a little bit for some of the clients, for some of the sites I built for clients.
Okay. Nice.
Minor stuff. I don't really get into spending a lot of time on it.
Okay.
Because they won't pay. So.
Yeah, exactly. How about pay-per-click? Do you in that game? No? Okay. How about you? Any Google AdWords, Facebook ads, any of that stuff?
I'm just learning.
Okay.
Trying to help somebody else out that doesn't know any more than I do.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Just like to gauge it a little so I know some things to cover. So a little bit about me. I'll give you just a quick 30-second background so you know who I am. Basically, I got in the internet marketing game in 2010 after I went to a seminar on e-commerce, and it basically just blew my mind. This was when I was 17, and I was like, you know, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So then from that day forward, something just clicked inside of me, and every day I would just study it and go hard. And so that's when I really started getting into the SEO game and understanding how to build websites and business models and all that. But currently now, for the last couple of years, I've co-founded a digital marketing agency with my partner, Michael O'Brien. So it's called Crawford and O'Brien. And so, yeah, a lot of our clients are dentists, and we help them, you know, with websites and ranking on Google and getting traffic and all that. So yeah, I just want to share some awesome tricks with you guys that you can use to help your business or help your clients. So let's jump straight into the meat. Yeah, so at the essence of SEO, Google's goal is to provide the best user experience. So that's why they've obviously been changing their algorithm so that you can't just game their system in 20 minutes by changing some meta keywords and ranking on Google. So I'm sure you already knew that, but in case you didn't, that's their goal. So some old methods of SEO, I'm sure you're familiar. People used to stuff keywords in pretty much everything, their content, their title tags, meta descriptions, you name it. And that actually used to work, which was cool for a moment, but not anymore. So this is actually a really cool chart I got from a friend of mine who owns a really big digital marketing agency who actually does SEO for like Carfax and a bunch of massive corporations. It's kind of hard to see, so I'll break it down for you. Basically, it's pointing out that in 2012, they estimated that 65% of SEO was just backlinks. And now, in 2013, it was more like 55%, and now in 2014, it will be more like 35 to 40%. 15% is on page, so that's kind of been the constant. Back like 6 years ago, it used to be more, right? It used to be like 50%. You could just keyword everything properly and rank, but now it's less. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And then the other trend is the rise in social. So it's kind of hard to see, but the black. So how many people are sharing your content on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and all the social sites? So those are the trends I want to get you to know from this graph. Is it's less and less on links and more on social. But links are still, you know, the most important part at the moment. The blue is what's called organic. So, okay, yeah. Yeah, so link building, organic, on page, social. And then there's other factors like load speed on your site and, you know, because that's more going towards the user experience. And that's really the future of SEO. If your site can't load, you know, people aren't going to stay on it. Therefore, why should they rank your site? So, you know, some other cool things you can do. Definitely implement schema. So this is authorship. I'm sure you. Well, I should ask. Like, have you actually done authorship for your sites and your clients? Okay, cool. But yeah, it's basically you can get photos next to your website, which increases the amount of people who click because people's eyes are attracted to it. So, and you can, this is authorship, but you can do other schemas. So you can actually do video schema. Let's say you didn't want your face to show up, you wanted the video to show up. You can actually do that. So have video, it'll be a, you know, just like if it was on YouTube, it'll be the same thumbnail showing up here. Same with recipes, and there's a bunch of other cool schemas that you can get to display. Reviews, that's a good one. So you can get 5-star reviews showing up there instead. So yeah, overall, Google's goal is, you know, great content. So one simple thing that we implement for most of our clients is just simply, we have at least 1,000 words of text, we'll have infographics, and we'll have videos, you know, and then when Google looks at that, it's like, wow, this guy versus some guy who has 300 words of duplicate content, like, who would I rather rank? This content is actually good. And one thing I should mention too is Google looks at other metrics like how long you're on a site, so page, you know, how long, bounce rate, and all that. So having videos actually helps because if someone watches a 1 or 2 minute video, they're staying on your site, and Google knows that. Same with infographics. Google actually knows scrolling. So if people are scrolling down, looking at infographics, and then sharing it and watching videos, you'll do well. So yeah. Then another big thing is to make sure everything is responsive. For a lot of local businesses, at least 25% of their traffic is already mobile, which is a big deal. It's been pretty much going up 5% a year. So, I mean, restaurants is 50% at least and growing. I think it was Valentine's Day, I read a case study on it was like 67% was mobile for restaurants. So that's a big deal. And then, yeah, some other basic things people kind of overlook with on pages. Definitely internally link a lot within your site, but don't just link keywords, because that's pretty spammy. Actually do conversational anchor text phrases. So like if I was internally linking for a dental website, I would be like, you know, average cost of dental implants, or, you know, some other long phrase, and then I'd link that instead of just being like dental implants in bold, because it looks a little spammy. So now, some off-page factors. Basically, you know, Google's looking at the number of high authority links linking to your site. And so an example would be like getting on CNN or Yahoo, or, you know, there's a huge list of high authority sites that you can get on. And when they see that, they're like, wow, well, obviously CNN's not going to link to something that's spammy or crappy. So therefore, you know, we'll rank this guy's site a little higher. And then, yeah, social signals are just amazing. I've done tests, you know, where the page is flat and then I get social signals and then it goes up hard, you know, it works. So the trick is to use it more organically. So usually I'll get social signals to a blog post or something that I just publish, because it's better to do that. So, and it helps it get indexed, because when you post stuff on Google+, it gets indexed instantly, you know, and that's just great, right? Why wait? So yeah, here are just a couple cool sites you can get links from. Academia.edu. So here's the CNN hack that you can do. I don't know if you've done this, but it's called iReporter. Have you heard of that at all? How about you? No? Okay. Well,
is it somewhat to help a reporter out?
No, actually. It's basically, oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, now you can see. Has it been like that the whole time? Yeah, no one can see anything. Okay, thanks. So yeah, iReporter, it's cool. You can actually submit content to it. And what it is it's a subdomain of CNN. So you could just Google like submit to iReporter or submit to iReporter CNN. And basically you just create an account and you can submit content. And then if it's actually good content, they'll keep it up there. Point being, like you just got on CNN. So it's not like you call some journalist and they actually get you on the homepage of CNN.com, but you're getting on CNN just on a subdomain. But
Most common is video? Is video the most common form for that?
no, actually, I mean, you could do video, but I've actually only done it where I just submit content and then a really cool big image. But I'm sure you could do video. So yeah.
Your dentist, what kind of content do you submit?
Maybe just something like how an unhealthy mouth could cause heart disease, or something like something kind of compelling that's actually true and useful. Because yeah, you shouldn't try to make it super self-promotional. Make it more just like a topic someone would actually like, oh wow, I didn't know that. That's actually cool. You know, because if you make it spammy, they're going to delete it. You know, because they have people reading all this stuff to make sure it's not spammy. So don't put like 5 links in there pointing to your website, and yeah. So just make it educational. So yeah, and then another good point on that is if you do put your website in there, try not to make the anchor text look spammy or self-promotional, because if they see that, they might just delete your article and then, you know, waste of time. So the same thing with Yahoo Voices. This is actually a great hack to get on Yahoo and get link juice from Yahoo. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a subdomain, and then you submit to it, and then if your content's good, they take it, and it's great. So yeah, these are some pretty cool hacks. Same with BuzzFeed. A lot of the content on BuzzFeed actually like isn't really even accurate. It's just kind of like funny stuff that, like, how did this even get on here? You know, so you can submit to BuzzFeed and try and make it really funny and cool, and if you get on, yeah, that'd be amazing. Okay, so this is a hack to get link juice from Wikipedia, which is awesome. So Wikipedia is one of the most authoritative websites that exists on the internet. So getting a link from them would actually be pretty powerful in terms of SEO. So how do you do that? Well, basically, for every Wikipedia article, there's citations at the bottom for sources. Like, how did this guy write the article? Well, there's sources for everything. A lot of those sources are actually broken links because they link to some source like 10 years ago, and that site doesn't even exist anymore. Or the page is a 404 because it's broken. You can actually, the process is this: you communicate that to the contributors at Wikipedia, like, hey, this is broken, link to my page, and then you post on your site a new blog post or a new page, and you go to archive.org and screenshot the broken link, and then you post that on your site, and then when Wikipedia guys come look, they're like, oh yeah, this is the source. And then they link to you as the source of that article. So it's actually a really cool, I guess you could say, hack to get in Wikipedia, just by helping them out. You're like, dude, your link's broken, link to me instead. That's the basic concept. But I've actually done this a lot, and it works. So yeah, another great thing for local businesses that a lot of people overlook. If I stand here, is that okay? Can you still see? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Is to kind of piggyback off authority sites. So a recent case study came out where a local plumber, 37 people clicked the #1 listing, and it was a Yelp listing because people trust Yelp. That's the basic consensus. Not only does Google rank a lot of Yelps higher on Google now in the last 3 years, that's been a great trend, but people trust Yelp and click on it. So the point being, if you have a local client or you're a local business, you should actually rank your Yelp on Google. And here's some tricks to actually do that. It's not just based on reviews. So you might be thinking, well, getting 10 reviews is really hard, Charles. And I'm like, well, you don't really need that many reviews at all. Actually, one of the biggest metrics is simply link building. So if you can drive some great backlinks to your Yelp listing, it'll actually rank higher on Google. So I've actually done this for dentists where I rank their Yelp just from some good link building methods. And then it's actually super valuable to their business because they rank their Yelp, you know. So this is just an example of Phoenix Dentist. I just wanted to show that a couple of the top organic results were Yelps. And it's like that in a lot of the big cities. So yeah, I kind of just talked about that. You can be kind of wary of Fiverr. Sometimes it works. Like, just make sure you're not buying super spammy stuff. But yeah, some guys are good. Here's a couple tools for checking backlinks. Am I in the way? Yeah. Okay. So ahrefs.com, OpenSiteExplorer.com, and the Alexa toolbar for Chrome. So these are all great backlink checking tools that you can use. Ahrefs is paid. Well, most of them are paid, but they'll give you a little knowledge for free. But yeah, I use this all the time. It's free. This is a great one. You can literally just check a site's backlinks in one click and know how many links they have in 2 seconds. So it's great for analyzing sites. Yeah, these are just a couple of random guys on Fiverr that I've used. So yeah, so besides Yelp, the other high authority is YouTube. So it's really easy to actually rank YouTube videos on Google too. You use the same method basically, is drive links to your YouTube video. So yeah, just think about that. If you have a local client, you should be ranking YouTube videos for them. So you can buy links. You can actually buy views. Be careful of buying views because in the last 3 years, well, 2.5, YouTube has really been cracking down on fake views. So if you buy it, you know, I wouldn't recommend Fiverr for buying views and all that because they'll most likely catch it. And then they'll just shut down your video and re-upload it and you'll have to start over. But it is possible to still buy comments, likes, and views and all that stuff for your video. Just make sure it's someone who's actually good. Yeah, so there's a couple things I do. One is actually I buy Fiverr videos of, there's great guys for $5 who will make a whiteboard animation video of, you know, like a hand drawing something on a video. I'm sure you've seen those types of videos. I do those. And then I also use Animato. Have you heard of that? Yeah, it's a great little software. And you basically can just upload photos and they make a slideshow video for you with some really cool music. So in 20 minutes you can pop out a cool video of like the dentist's face and his office, pictures, and his staff. And then you can use that and rank it on YouTube. So yeah, I generally make one for most of his main services. So like dental implants, root canals, you know, all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a more elementary question. What do you mean when you're saying rank your videos? Do you mean go to your own YouTube channel and you do a little card thing, like a like thing, or what do you mean rank?
Yeah, so I mean, increase where it shows up on Google and YouTube. So increase where it ranks. Yeah, good question. Because yeah, it might rank, it might be on page 10 of YouTube, but with some of these methods, you could bring it to number 1, which obviously gets you more traffic. That's the whole goal of SEO is no one's going to find you on page 10. But if you rank number 1, they will. Yep. Yeah, this is just a funny example I did like 3 years ago just for fun. I just ranked myself for that. I'm actually not the best classical piano player in the world. I'm the second best. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just to clarify, never send Fiverr backlinks to your website. Just want to make sure, because you may rank your video with it or something, but don't get all crazy and be like, oh, if it works for my video, I'll use it on my site. That would probably get you de-indexed. So yeah, next main thing with SEO is definitely do guest blogging, but not in a spammy sense. So Matt Cutts came out in October and was like, yeah, we're shutting down guest blogging, and they shut down a bunch of networks like My Blog Guest. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they were one of the biggest networks where bloggers would come connect and be like, hey, I'll post content on your site. And be like, hey, can you post content on my site? But all those sites were really spammy. And that's really what Google's trying to shut down is spammy guest blogging. But real guest blogging, like actually getting on a great site with great content, that is still alive and well. And that won't go away for a long time. So when Matt Cutts says something, don't take that for gold. Actually, it's usually the opposite. But hear what he's saying, and then think, why is he saying this? Because he wants SEO guys to change what they're doing, and then they see what SEO guys do, and they're like, aha, we got them to all change their methods, or try this, because Matt Cutts said it was the best. So yeah, now infographics are pretty awesome, and this is actually a cool strategy I use for local businesses that you might not think it works that well, or it wouldn't make sense, but for dentists, I mean, I create a bunch of cool infographics where it's like 10 things you never knew about dentistry, or the history of dentistry in the last 2,000 years, or something that's just kind of cool. I'm like, oh, yeah, I might read that. And then, it's a really long infographic where they have to scroll down to see it. And then the strategy is basically to then drive links to the infographic. So I have people go share it to like 50 or more infographic sharing sites. And then obviously those are all backlinks, which helps rank. And then we do social signals. So we'll get social signals to it. And then you can actually, one kind of cool trick is to actually buy stumbled upon traffic to the infographic, because stumbled upon people like infographics and cool graphics. So I've actually done it where I spend like, 30 or maybe a little more dollars, and I'll get like 400 or 500 shares on stumbled upon, which is actually pretty good. And it's totally organic, right? You're paying for real stuff. It's real people. So that's a cool strategy. And of course, you can get infographics on Fiverr for $5, or you can hire someone who's really good for like $25. But I get really good infographics for $25 or less. You don't have to pay like $500 to a designer to get something sexy. So yeah, this is not the best example. This is just like 1/10 of an infographic that I made for, I think, $25, something like that. So it's just 1/10 of the entire thing. It'd be too long to put in my slides. So yeah, like I mentioned, then you submit it to cool infographic directories. These are just a few. Daily infographics, cool infographics, love infographics, And some of these are pretty high authority sites, so getting a link from them is great. Alrighty, anchor text. So this is actually one of the easiest ways for Google to know you're a spammer. People kind of overlook it, but think about it. Anchor text is super easy to know what keywords you're going after and how spammy you are or not spammy you are. So just in case you don't know, for example, click here is anchor text. So if you see a link and it's like, click here, and then you click it and it goes somewhere, that's anchor text. I just want to make sure you all know that's what it is. So for example, that's an example of anchor text, just having a normal link. If I linked click here, that would be anchor text. So the point is, you need to diversify your anchor text. So a lot of people used to, let's say their client was a dentist in Phoenix, they would get links from all these sites and put the anchor text dentist in Phoenix from those links pointing to the dentist website. And that used to work like 5 years ago. But if you did that now, it'd be super easy for Google to know that you're a spammer and they'd shut you down. So point being, diversify. And I'm going to get it more into percentages on how to diversify. This is just a screenshot from Ahrefs on what our anchor text cloud looks like. As you can see, there's just a bunch of stuff. which is how it should be, right? There shouldn't only be like a few, because that's not enough. So yeah, this is actually a great slide of how to diversify. So the top two anchor texts you should have are conversational anchor text and your company brand. So conversational is, like I said before, if I was linking to a dentist, I would do, what's the average cost of dental implants or something, right? That's my anchor text. I wouldn't just say dental implants, because that's not as good. And then the brand, right? Because the brand is natural. Google's looking for what's natural. Is linking to someone's brand natural? Yeah. And then, variations. You should rarely do exact match. I would actually make it less than 10% now. Definitely do a lot of generic, and definitely do a lot of just straight up your URL as the anchor text. So there's essentially no anchor text. So yeah, I'll speed it up a little so we can get going. So the future of SEO, I've talked to some pretty good guys, one of them who is actually almost the founder of SEO in California. Anyway, I asked him what the future of SEO was, and he talked a lot about voice search and how people pull out their phones nowadays and tell it Google and Siri what to search. So that's one more reason why conversational anchor text is actually powerful, because imagine pulling out your phone and be like, what's the average cost of dental implants in Phoenix? That's actually something you might say. And then the user experience. So not just load time, but how long are people staying on your site? Are people clicking through? Are they actually taking actions on your site? That's what Google is going to be looking at more and more. So make sure your site is actually good. And then I'm sure you've heard of author rank. It's kind of the concept of, are you getting published everywhere, and are thousands of people sharing and befriending you on Google Plus and all the networks? Because if they are, you're an authority author. And if you're an authority author, they're going to rank your content higher. That's the concept. So yeah, and then definitely make it look natural. That's kind of the thing to keep in mind with SEO is it should be hard for Google to know you're really doing SEO. So yeah, I'll speed this up. Basically, I'm sure you're all familiar with what Google AdWords is. It's just pay-per-click, You click the top ads, and someone pays for that. Click-through rates are down in the last year, 15%, but the only reason, one of the main reasons Google continues to make more money every year is because cost per click goes up. So even though banner blindness, unless people click ads every year since the internet was created, Google's still fine.
Good question.
Yeah.
Is there any data available who's clicking on organic results versus the pay-per-click? I have never clicked on anything above or to the right over the organic search results. Obviously people are who go crazy for pay-per-click, but are you saying it's trending away from that, or is there any data on who actually clicks on the high-end stuff that people are paying for versus the organic?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because there's a lot of famous ones from 2011 that aren't right anymore because the internet has changed. So it used to be like 40% of the traffic went to the #1 organic listing. And then it was like upper 20s, like 28% went to #2 and like 15% went to #3. So it was like 70% of your traffic's going to the first 3 listings. That's not true anymore. And less people are using AdWords. So if I recall, only less than 15% of anyone clicks on ads, and then the rest goes organic. So what I've been noticing though, and what some guys I've talked to, is that one of the main reasons why the organics today don't get nearly as much as 40%, 28%, 15%, I would estimate it's more like 20 and 12 or 8%, right? Not even close to what it used to be, is because of Google Suggest. And that's kind of siphoning away searches from what would actually bring someone to the #1 result, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
What about the keyword counter tool?
yeah.
Won't that show a lot of your click data?
I mean, the keyword tool, they changed it to the planner. It just shows search volume, and you could know from like Google AdWords, yeah, my click-through rates are this, and what the volume is. Is that
Close the
okay? What were you thinking?
He was thinking about it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this is just a simple breakdown of should you still do Google AdWords? And I kind of base it off, well, what's the cost per click? Because for some guys, I'd rather not have my dentists paying $30 or $40 a click if they're in a super expensive city, right? Unless they actually, we could get them a positive ROI. But this is just a simple breakdown of if you had a 3% click-through rate times 1,300 searches, you get that many clicks, cost per click. You convert 2 patients off that, make $1,000, spend 610. Is it worth it? Yeah. So yeah, a lot of advertising is going native. So obviously Facebook ads are huge and have been for a while. But just to give you the definition of native to make sure, it's basically an ad that looks like it's in a natural setting. So that's why Facebook, ads in the news feed look natural. It's native, right? Because you might not notice it's actually an ad, which is their goal, because then you click it more. And then retargeting and remarketing is if people come to your website, cookies placed in their browser, so now you can show them ads wherever they go on the internet. So it's really cheap to do retargeting, and it's pretty powerful. It's not super high volume for my clients as dentists, but if they close an extra 1 or 2 new patients, or someone's thinking about braces and then they see ads for 2 weeks, and then they actually make a decision to go with him, it's worth it. So yeah, these are just some great ones. Obviously, continue doing SEO, do AdWords if it makes sense. Retargeting and native advertising are definitely the trends. So yeah, here's my contact info. Charles at CrawfordandO'Brien.com. CrawfordandO'Brien.com is our company website. That's my Facebook. And then as a bonus, if you guys go here, I've actually listed out a mind map of some pretty cool traffic strategies that you could go take a look at. And that is it. Yes.
Questions about, so a lot of your clients are dentists,
Mm-hmm.
and the social media is to drive the SEO for their website so that they show up higher on the rankings and then people find your practice via a Google search.
Mm-hmm.
So that's assuming the patients are people who go on the internet, and is it assuming that they also go on social media, or just that they find your website? The social media is a means to the end, or because it would seem to me that the people who need dental work when they're super older, 50, 70, etc., they're going to rack up the higher bills for dentists, whereas younger people might, because they're not
Yeah.
fine. So I'm
Exactly.
curious about how this works with that demographic.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good point, because over half of anyone who clicks a Google ad is actually old, like above 50, which is why actually doing AdWords for dentists tends to be great, because it's more older people, which is a good point. But I think what you're getting at is I use social media more as an SEO play. So I'll buy social signals or pay people to actually share stuff on social media just so that Google indexes that, and they're like, wow, this guy's just got shared 1,000 times. Like, he's obviously popular, we're gonna rank his site higher. But I don't use social media to try and convert patients, unless the dentist actually wants to pay for Facebook ads and all that stuff, then that's cool. But I use social media strictly as an SEO play for dentists, unless they really want to, actually pay me to market them on social media. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What do I think? Well, yeah, I know they moved that guy to like mobile, but I don't really know what to think other than I'll still use it as long as it ranks my sites higher. Because that's really what I would only use it for anyway, right? I'm not on there, trying to look at photos of my friends. I'm there getting shares and indexing sites and all that stuff. So, yeah. Well, I think it usually is better to go and dominate a vertical market like that, because then you can just build up networks and be better at what you do. For example, you can build up blog networks or high authority sites of your own that you actually use to rank your clients. Whereas if you had 100 different clients in 100 different niches, you'd have to kind of like redo research on the best links in this category for each client, and so it's harder. So from an efficiency standpoint, I like having it all in the same vertical, but I mean, we have more than dentists. We have a plumber and a bunch of other people too. But to answer your question, I do think it's best to actually focus.
And so conversely, for our clients with the dentist, it behooves them to seek out somebody like you who really knows it, and it's not perceived as a conflict of interest, but because it's one dentist that you see.
Well, yeah, we only take one guy in a city per niche.
One.
Exactly. So I would only take one dentist in Phoenix. I wouldn't actually take 5 guys, because then I'd be competing against myself. Yeah, and they wouldn't like that, because they want to actually rank number 1 and dominate, right? They don't want to rank number 5 to some other guy who's paying me, Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you get a return to the slide that has a pie chart in the orange portion? What was that? What does that represent?
Link building.
Link building?
Exactly.
And that was, what was, oh, so that was a shrinking of the
Exactly. Exactly. So the point is, Google's algorithm is still based on links, don't get me wrong, but it's less and less every year.
So what was that, like 60%?
Yeah, is 65%, then 55%, then I think this is like 40%.
Okay, what was the blue one was social media?
No, blue is organic. I think the black is social media. Exactly, because it used to be basically very little before. I want to say 15%, 10, 15, and then 25. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Anything else? Any other questions? Great. Well, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.